Menopause Moguls podcast. We are in the 100th episode, y'all. Woo! 100th episode, y'all. Okay, and this episode is super special. Super special, right? Because number one, it's a 100th episode. Like, I cannot believe I have been recording for this amount of time, and I'm at the 100th episode. Like, this is epic for me. And I'm super excited about this episode. I wanted to make it super special. And it's super special because, like I said, this is the 100th episode. Number one. Number two, it is also video, y'all. This is now going to be on my YouTube channel. So people can also watch it as well as listen to it on audio, whichever you prefer. So I'm super excited about that. And the third is the amazing guests I have on this episode, y'all. This episode is going to be, like I said, super special because I have some amazing women that I would love to introduce you all to, that they have truly inspired me to even start my brand, start my platform in this menopause and midlife space. This episode is going to be about generational health, generational wealth, and how sisterhood really helps us through all these transitions in our lives. And I'm just super excited. I'm super excited. So without further ado, I am going to introduce the first guest. I'm going to bring them all to the stage, and we are going to chat it up, y'all. So I got some tissue because those of you who have been listening to me, listening to my podcast, y'all know I can be crying sometimes. So I got some tissue. And I have a feeling this episode is definitely going to be super emotional for me because, again, like I said, I have been doing this, I believe, since 2020. It was when I started 2021. And like I said, it's just so, it just brings this super, just warm feelings to my soul, to my spirit. And I'm just happy to share this special episode with my amazing guests, which are my sister. So my first guest. So those of you also who've been following me know that I have a big family. And I am the oldest. And I am going to introduce my sister that is after me. Her name is SeaQuett Eudell. I'm going to read her bio, and all of their information is going to be in the show notes. So if you click on the show notes, you'll also see the information too. So my first guest is my first best friend, the sister after me, SeaQuett Eudell. She is a registered nurse for over 20 years, with over 20 years of experience, who has been on a continuous mission to improve the health and well-being of underprivileged communities by using a collaborative approach to provide quality care. She works to ensure there are continuous and ongoing efforts to achieve measurable improvements in the efficiency and effectiveness in the quality of health services to achieve equity and improve the health of these communities. Currently, she's working as a quality improvement of patient safety nursing supervisor at John Hopkins Healthcare, in addition to making home visits to ensure women and their newborns are receiving appropriate postpartum and newborn care. She earned her Bachelor of Science degree from Syracuse University, my alma mater, in 2001. After graduation, she began her career in the medical surgical nephrology kidney transplant unit at Washington Hospital Center, where she spent the first year of her nursing career. She then moved to the labor and delivery unit. Subsequently, she provided excellent care to patients in the settings of inpatient and outpatient care, case management, and in the main operating room. Briefly in her nursing career, she was a maternal health nursing instructor for rising nursing students at Howard Community College. She spent 19 years of her career in women's health as a labor and delivery and postpartum nurse. Due to her outstanding leadership skills, she has held numerous leadership roles. Her leadership roles began at Baltimore Washington Medical Center, where she acted as the charge nurse on the L&D and postpartum units. She later moved to a position as a nurse clinical coordinator with Baltimore Washington's Women's Health Clinic. Then moved to a role as assistant nurse manager of the Women's Health Clinic of John Hopkins Healthcare System for 4.5 years. Mrs. Eudell enjoys crafting, bike riding, traveling, and spending time with her husband and 4 kids. Welcome to the stage, SeaQuett Eudell. Hello, my dear.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm super excited.
Let's go.
All right. So my next best friend is my sister, Childless E. Ballard. She's a department administrator at the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority in the People, Culture, and Inclusion Department. She provides administrative support and special project support in her department. Childless also sits on the board of directors for Fresh Start Project DC, which is a nonprofit organization that builds meaningful construction career opportunities for discouraged workers in the Washington, D.C. area through quality job training, industry mentorship, and wraparound community support. She was born and raised in Prince George's County, Maryland. Woo woo, PG. She received her bachelor's degree in human resource management and currently studying for her project management professional certification. She aspires to be a project manager in specialized projects and human resources. Childless enjoys traveling and taking nature walks. Welcome to the stage, Childless. Hey, girl.
How's it going?
We good.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. All right. My next best friend is Crystal Ballard. She is the Prince George's County Economic Development Coordinator, which involves her assisting with planning county events and trainings, in addition to managing significant data of a variety of businesses in the county. As a serial entrepreneur, Crystal manages several businesses. She provides unique experiences at an array of events with her 360 photo booth. She co-owns and co-manages a commercial building with her husband. Most recently, she has entered the financial service industry as a life insurance agent, where she aims to educate and guide individuals and their families to get out of debt and build wealth. Throughout all of her endeavors, Crystal aims to add value to the lives of those she encounters. She loves fitness, so the gym is like her second home. She has 2 boys that also keep her busy with their involvement in multiple sports. Welcome to the stage, Crystal.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, hey.
And last but not least, my baby sister, best friend, Ashley Ballard, Esquire. She provides litigation support to the federal government in the area of e-discovery. E-discovery is a fairly new but growing area of the law that involves using a collection of electronic data in litigation proceedings. She has over 4 years of experience in litigation support. Ashley grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland. She received her Bachelor of Science degree with high honors in criminal justice. She then went to obtain her Juris Doctorate from Widener Law Commonwealth. Ashley is currently licensed to practice law for the state of Maryland. She is a mom who enjoys spending time with her family and finding new restaurants with a cool vibe in the DMV. Welcome to the stage, Ashley.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
So, y'all, it is episode 100 of Menopause Moguls. I am super excited, y'all, to have this. I'm going to thank y'all again. And like I said, I probably cry, so just bear with me. I'm going to be, we're going to be laughing too. But I just want to thank you now and probably later for just being who you are and just inspiring me to be my best self. And I, created Menopause Moguls. I created my brand, all the things, just growing up as your big sister. I've done things. You have inspired me to do things and to be my best self in everything I do. So I just want to thank you all, lovely ladies, for all that you do. And I also want to congratulate y'all on all the things that you do, right? Because y'all doing some things. I'm out of breath from reading y'all bios, okay? So, like I said, I wanted this episode to be extra special, so it wouldn't be special without you guys. And, talking about generational health and wealth, we are, a collection of generations, right? We got our older crew, SeaQuett and Kalila. We got our younger crew with Ashley and Crystal, okay? So what we are the, what we do impacts the generations after us. So I just thought it would be so cool that we can just, chat it up about different things, and, menopause, midlife, motherhood, all kinds of things, women's health, just different things throughout this episode. So we can, obviously, just show how sisterhood helps us through all the transitions that we go through life. So let's get started, y'all. Okay. So first, I wanted to ask you all, what were your thoughts about menopause or aging before I started my menopause platform? Like, what were your thoughts? And when you say your response, say your age so people can know how old you are to get an idea of, your perspective. So I'm going to, I'll start, we'll go in order for now. So I'll start with SeaQuett and then we can go in that order.
So initially I'm 46, just turned 46.
Woohoo!
My initial thought was it was doomed to hell. What some of my coworkers, how they would speak about it. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I didn't want any more menstrual cycles, but I don't want to get to that point where they were miserable, complaining. And I'm like, is everybody like that? Does this happen to everybody? So now I can say that that's different. But the initial thought was, I don't want to get to that point, but I did want to eventually get there, but not the way that they did.
Right. Okay. Kalila.
Hello. I just turned 45 2 days ago.
Woohoo! Yay!
45. And my initial thoughts was, I just saw that people just got hot flashes. And I just thought that's what menopause was, just hot flashes. I was going to be extremely hot. And I was just, oh, that's what I have to look forward to, just be extremely hot all the time, have these hot flashes. So anything else I just did not know about. I just knew, oh, it's going to be hot flashes. I'm just going to be hot all the time. So that was just all I knew about it, all that it entailed. I didn't know all the other stuff. So I just knew it was hot flashes was coming my way.
Right.
So, yes, that's all I knew.
And it is just so funny. Like, people don't know this. Before we start recording, we all were like, let me turn this fan on because we hot. Let's turn this fan on real quick before we get started. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, Crystal.
Hello. So I'm 35.
Woo-hoo.
And honestly, it's like I never really thought about menopause before you got into it. It's just, I guess I wasn't around a lot of older women that spoke about it. So it was just like, of course, I do hear people say something about getting hot, as far as the hot flashes. Other than that, it was more so just like kind of a second language, like, wait, what? What are you talking about? So I'm not looking forward to it because I don't know how it's going to affect me. But now that you're in it, it's like, okay, I know who to go to or who to ask questions to. I know what book to read where I can get some guidance as to how to deal with it.
Awesome. And shameless plug, her book, the book she's talking about is my book. It's called Loving Me, Myself, and Her. Those of you who are new listener to the podcast, you can get that on my website, drjuriel.com. Okay, great. So, Ashley.
Yes, I am 31.
Woo woo.
So all I knew about it was what Kalila and SeaQuett said. You get old, your period stops, or cycles, whatever, and you get hot flashes. That's pretty much all I knew about it. It was like, oh, okay, you get older, and things change with your body, and that's pretty much all I knew about it. It was like, okay, like Kalila said, okay, hot flashes, okay, cool, but no cycles. All right, I think I can compromise. I think I can take on the hot flashes.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I knew about it.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I mean, that sounds, what all of you said sounds pretty much a lot of what I've heard in the office from women who, who are starting to go through some things, and they're like, I thought it was just hot flashes, but what about this other stuff? Or, I never really even thought about this whole menopause thing. Like, what's that about? Like, nobody talked about it. Like, nobody told me about it. Like, what do I need to expect, or what am I looking forward to? Like I said, most people associate menopause with hot flashes, and that's pretty much it. But y'all know now, there's more than just hot flashes. There's more than just hot flashes, right? There are over 34 symptoms of menopause, right? So now that I have, kind of built this platform as far as menopause, SeaQuett, you said the doom and gloom, which I think a lot of women, think about when they talk about menopause. What is your perspective now that, since I've kind of, I've put some posts out there, put some things out there to the world on my platform. Is that doom and gloom still there, or is,
No, not at all. And it's funny because being a nurse and going through nursing school, it's not even something that was really taught and explained to us. It was kind of, menopause, you get your period, and boom, you stop your period, and that's it. And it's between this age and this age, and that's it. And that's like, oh, okay. But as I got older, I realized, and I heard people talk about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, well, what is that? And like I said, it was like the doom. Oh, you're going to get hot. You're going to just be miserable. And I'm just like, okay. So now, as someone who's close to approaching that, I mean, I'm near 46. I say it's an opportunity for me to really see how myself will transition into that role, knowing how to manage symptoms, knowing what to look for, and knowing that there's certain things that I can do that will ease my transition into it. And it won't be like I'm miserable and not know what's going on. So I would say now is I'm looking forward to it because I understand it more, and I know what to look for. And I know it's not all just about hot flashes. There's many other things that happens during that transition that I can essentially change some of the things I do in my lifestyle, or, how I do things that will ease me into that transition. Right.
Kalila, you have anything to add?
Well, SeaQuett said, I'm not looking forward to it. Not at all. But I do know now how to mitigate some of the symptoms, and how to maybe it not be as bad, or how to I guess eliminate even some of the symptoms just by your book, or just by listening to some of your podcasts, and what to do to try to help me along the way. But I'm not looking forward to it at all. I'm not looking forward to it. I just know how to handle it when it comes.
If those of you who are listening or watching, if you have not caught that she is not looking forward to it, I mean, what I say on my platform is like, menopause is a gift, and y'all like, I don't want this gift, like for real. I kind of want it, but not really. I mean, I don't know, Joelle. I mean, this whole menopause thing. I mean, yeah, now I know more, but it's like, do I really want that? Like, Ashley and Crystal, as the 30-year-olds, what do y'all have any new perspectives at this point, just by, what I've done so far in regards to, aging, menopause, anything like that?
I do. So it's part of, a part of like the doom part, like, it's like the unknown, like you really don't know. So I think after you started and learning more about it, it's like, I think it takes away less of the dooms part, because you're like, I know more, so I know how to approach it, or I know how to go about it. So it's not the fear of these things, the unknown, basically. Right. But the fact that, I've been educated about it, it's like, okay, it doesn't seem that bad, I like Kalila, I'm with you, girl. I'm not looking forward to it either. I'm like, okay, I'm 31, all right. I got a little bit of time. But I think getting more education about it and just learning more about it and discussing it more, it's, you know, it takes away that fear of the unknown.
Right.
Yeah, I honestly just try not to think about it. I just don't think about it. And then it's like, just trying to prepare. It's like trying to prepare for, almost like preparing for a trip that you know is going to come up eventually. And just doing the right things to make sure you don't get it the worst. I don't want to say the worst way, but almost like you want to just make sure you do the right things to make sure when it comes, it's not as bad as some people have experienced it to be.
Right. I like that. Preparing for a trip that you know it's coming. That's something I might use that. But I appreciate y'all keeping it real. Like, you know, I think a lot of it is about, you know, the whole doom and gloom is about like Ashley said, the fear of the unknown. Like, if you don't know, have no idea of what to expect, or all that you've heard is this crap is ridiculous. I'm hot. I feel like crap. Like this, who wants that? So I think, you know, like you mentioned, just finding out more information and educating yourself about, you know, what potentially can happen to your body, your mind, and then, you know, change your response to that or change your lifestyle so you won't, you know, get the symptoms in, like, you know, Crystal said, and not in the worst way, but, you know, in a way that, you know, affects your daily function. And also is having the conversations, like, you know, we y'all know we talk, like we in a group chat, like, what you think about this, or what, this is what's happening, this happened to y'all before, like, you know. So having those conversations, that also, I think that helps with the fear too, because I think a lot of women are, you know, aging and going through perimenopause, menopause, and feeling like they're the only ones out there going through this and struggling. And having the conversations with, whether it's your sisters, whether it's your friends, your mom, or whoever that is, having those conversations also helps with that, you know, that fear and that discomfort, because now you're like, oh, so-and-so is going through this, or so-and-so may have experienced a little bit of this, or, you know, just different things. And you don't feel like you're out here by yourself, just like, I'm the only one, you know, going through this, and there's nobody to bounce things off of. And, you know, like I said, and also, you know, aging and just different things that happen to your body, it comes with, you know, the thoughts of, you know, you're losing a part of yourself, and you're losing that, you know, that young, spry self that you used to be, and you're going into this different realm of yourself. Like, I don't know what this is going to look like. I'm a little afraid, but having, you know, sisters or friends or whoever that, you know, community that you can talk to, I think that helps a lot. So leading into that subject, as far as sisterhood, can you share how sisterhood, you know, our sisterhood, or even, you know, sisterhood and your girlfriends, has helped you through different transitions in your life, whether it's in your health or, you know, through your career or your business? Can you share, you know, how sisterhood has helped you through that? Anybody can start.
I'll start. So I would say sisterhood has helped me in ways to just being able to talk to someone, or get someone else's opinion on something that I'm going through, or someone just helping me, or just being able to let go of stress, because being in the business world is stressful. Dealing with health stuff can be stressful, but being able to talk to somebody and let it out and not hold it in and not have to keep it to yourself. And then sometimes see that, just like you said, you're not the only one that has gone through this, and you're not going to be the only one. It's just helpful getting someone else's advice and tips, or just letting it out. Starting a business was definitely, I don't know if I ever said I wanted to be a business owner when I was a kid, but it just happened. And just being able to talk about the different things that I go through and letting it out to having somebody to talk to. That's important, because when you don't, I'm trying to deal with stuff on your own or by yourself, it hits you 10 times harder than it would if you're just talking to somebody to know, okay, calm down. There's gonna be, there's a solution to this, but it's at the moment you don't always think so. So
right.
Sisterhood is definitely important.
I'm gonna say that it allows you to be vulnerable and no fear of being judged of what you may, feel you want to say or divulge or just talk about or get off your chest or vent or whatever, however you want to say it. It's just knowing that you can be vulnerable and really let what you want to say and how you feel go. And like I said, no fear of being judged. Your sisters are your sisters for a reason. And a lot of people, some people, you sit and look at other people and they have sisters, but I would say that our sisterhood, sister bond is like nothing I've seen outside of here. And I think as being Black sisters, it's very important for us to be sure that we stick together and that we're there for each other. And again, no judgment. There's people that's been through some things, and you may just want to talk about it. And it's not I'm looking for you to respond and give me advice. Sometimes it's just I want to let it out, and you can just listen. And like I said, the biggest thing is no fear of being judged about what you got going on in your life.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I agree with that too, SeaQuett. And just to know that you can call somebody who that, they might have been through something similar or going through the same thing, and you could call and be like, hey, did you experience this when you went through this? Or did you, to have older sisters or even younger sisters that are doing things that you are just now doing. Like Crystal is further along in the business. And so I know, like, okay, I can call Crystal and be like, Crystal, do I do this with because, it wasn't in my bio, but I'm trying to start a business now. So it was just like, trying to like, okay, I know they doing this. I can call them and be like, hey, how did you go through this? How did you do this? So it's just good to have sisters that that you can call, and especially sisters that are doing great things that, that you can like, oh, okay. You can look towards your big sisters and your younger sisters and be like, oh, they doing that. I'm going to do that too.
Right.
It's good to have that. So.
Yes, and being the youngest sister or the younger sister and having such great big sisters is like a blessing, because like, not everybody's sisterhood is like our sisterhood. Like, y'all know I'm always texting you. I'm like, what? FaceTime was the greatest thing ever. I would call y'all up anytime and be like, hey, I got a question. Especially Joelle, no, I'm always sorry, girl. No. Every time I call, I be like, what you doing? Like, what is it? Why you always acting like that? I'm like, because I just want to know. I don't want to disturb y'all, but I know. I'm going to tell y'all. So it's definitely a blessing to have those people that you could go talk to about health, relationship, your job. First, this week I was hitting her up, girl, to talk about stuff that's going on through your everyday life, is definitely important. It's like Crystal said, like to be going through something by yourself. Like, I cannot imagine like not having my sisters there, like to talk to about stuff. Like, so it's definitely a blessing and definitely important. Like, even if you don't have like blood sisters, find that one friend that you can talk to, and she's not going to judge you, or they're not going to look at you and you'll change the way they feel about you, or they're just going to be there, like SeaQuett said, to I used to vent and get stuff off your chest. So yeah,
right. Yeah, y'all said some good stuff. Like it is, like I said, actually truly a blessing to have sisters. Like I said, it doesn't have to be blood sisters. It can be close friends or whoever that person is. For you to have a community of, especially as Black women, a community of women or that person that you can actually let, like you said, SeaQuett, vulnerability, just let it all out, right? And Crystal said, like, keeping that stuff in, that's actually toxic to you. Like, keeping all that stuff in, the stress of building a business, the stress of some health scare that you may be going through, health condition, the stress of your actual 9 to 5, like all of that, the stress of motherhood. Oh my God. Like, we need to let all that out. Let that all out and be able to let that out and not be judged, and have a community of just support and just having somebody just to listen. Like, you don't technically have to, seek advice per se, but just having someone to just sit there and listen to you just makes a world of a difference. And when I created my Menopause Moguls program to, help coach women, Black women, to build businesses when they're going through menopause, I wanted to create a similar sisterhood where women can come into a community where they can, let all of their things that are happening to their bodies and minds, out into a safe space, and they don't have to bottle it up and, hold it in and actually let it out in a safe space. And with women who are going through the same things and also aspiring to be the same thing in regards to, owning a business, a service-based business. So being able to, have that community of women who are, have similar goals, have similar challenges also, but able to support each other and hold each other up as we're going through the things without judgment. Because I think judgment just in general is, I know for me, like, we judge ourselves already, right? Like, for all the things that we do, whether it's mothering, whether it's in our careers, whether it's building a business. Like, I know for me, like, that is my thing that I continue to work on. We are our worst critics, and we're always like looking for all the things that, like, oh, I can't do this because of, because I didn't do this, or I don't have this, just all the things that we criticize ourselves for, that sometimes can hold us back. So I think also having a sisterhood that we can just kind of just bounce things off of. And, you guys know, like, as I was thinking about, creating my menopause, this podcast into a video portion to this kind of a spinoff of the audio version. I was bouncing things off you guys. Like, what do y'all think about this? Does this sound like this sound corny? Like, what does what does it sound like to you? So I appreciate you all, just kind of everything that you all said. A community, having a community without judgment, being able to let things out, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, is all so important as we are going through different transitions, whether it's in aging, whether it's in our careers, whether it's in building a business, mothering, like all the things that we do as women. I think having a sisterhood that holds you down, like we are our ride or dies. Like, when we're low, we pick each other up, so that we all can win. And I think, having that support is so important. All the things that we do, as we go through life. So I appreciate what all of you said, because I think, it's so important just to hear women's different, perspective, in regards to the different things that we go through, being able to have a sister or, a close friend that we can bounce things off. I think it makes a difference. So that was good, y'all. That was good. So let's get into more of, health issues. I want to kind of talk about, hysterectomies, because SeaQuett and Kalila, actually, you are the sisters in the group who have experienced hysterectomies. So, because I think hysterectomy is, it's a big deal, right? It's major surgery. And you both had it because of fibroids, which is also a big deal for Black women, right? I think, do we all have we all have fibroids, Crystal? I don't think you've never had. Ashley? Yep. Okay. I had fibroids also. When I was, and I didn't know I had fibroids. I found out when I was pregnant with my first child. They're like, oh, you have on my ultrasound, you have a fibroid the size of a grapefruit. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? All right. And that fibroid gave me so much pain in my first trimester that I had to leave work, which was crazy. I had to leave. I couldn't practice in my office because I was in so much pain. I was like hobbling around the office in so much pain. But for me, subsequently, it was oh my gosh, got to get this fibroid surgically removed after I had this first child, whatever. But luckily for me, the fibroid shrunk and I didn't have to have surgery. And I was kind of glad because I'm a punk and I didn't really want surgery. Even though obviously I do surgery as a GYN, but personally I'm a punk and I was like, God, I don't want surgery. So can you just make that happen? I don't need it. So clearly he listened and he was like, all right, girl, you don't have to go through it. But I know obviously a lot of women do. So I would love if SeaQuett and Kalila can share, because I think, hysterectomy also is, like I say, it's a major surgery. It's a big deal, right? So many things so many thoughts and questions go along with getting a hysterectomy. There's also fear around that too, because, there's some women who've had hysterectomies who've had, experiences and been fine. Other women have had horrible experiences with having a hysterectomy. So, it can go either way. But if SeaQuett and Kalila can just kind of share, your thoughts kind of around the decision to go, to move forward with the hysterectomy, and what your thoughts were around that.
You can go first, Kalila.
I can start, I guess, since I have mine first. Well, the one thing that I want to start off by saying is, if your doctor tells you have fibroids, and back then I was diagnosed with fibroids in 2006. It's 2006, I believe. And the doctor said, oh, you have fibroids. All Black women get them. You'll be okay. Oh, okay. So I'm like, oh, okay. And before I knew it, my stomach was the size of like I was 5 months pregnant. I was like, oh, you didn't tell me they grow this big. You didn't tell me that. You just told me that, oh, all Black women get them. It's going to be okay. So me back then, oh, okay. So I just wish back then I would have done more research to do the proper, I guess, to find out how to shrink them like you did, Joelle. I wish I would have, found out how to shrink them, in time to shrink them. So in 2010, I had my first myomectomy, which was to remove the fibroids because I was still at the age, a childbearing age, where I could still possibly have kids. So they was like, okay, let's just take them out. Which, okay, I did that in 2020, in 2010. And then I had the surgery, and then they grew back. The fibroids grew back. And they grew back to the same size. Whether people asking me, when are you due? I'm like, I'm not pregnant. So they grew really big. I mean, the size of like a watermelon. It was like really big. So I decided to have the hysterectomy when they told me that, because I didn't want to have the hysterectomy. I said, I still don't want to do it. I'm going to try to do all this natural method and try to shrink them and doing all this holistic medicine and holistic approaches to try to shrink them. And it just didn't work. So, and then they told me, okay, your fibroids are now large enough. They're moving against your kidney and your liver, and they may merge or attach to them. And that's scary. So I said, okay. Now it's time. I think I just take it. At this point, I was 41. I said, okay, just take it. I have no use for it. I don't have no husband, so I'm not going to have kids at this point. Hopefully he has kids. Let's just take it. I don't want it to grow anymore. I don't want it. They said, okay, well, you can do the surgery again. No, I don't want them to grow back again. So just take the whole uterus and just take everything. So that was my decision because like I said, they said it was merging with my kidneys and my liver. So I said, okay, just take it and I'll just take it. So it was kind of a hard decision, but kind of okay, my health is more important. So it was like, okay, let's just do it. And I didn't have a tough recovery because what they were being so large, my incision was up and down.
Mhm.
And what I learned because when I had a myomectomy, my incision was up and down. And I was at Walmart 2 days later. My hysterectomy. I was, hunched over for a day or two. But after that, it was like, oh, okay, where am I going? I can. So, and I knew I was still healing on the inside, but it wasn't that tough of a recovery that where I hear from some people, they were just horrible, that the pain, and I mean, it was some pain, I still had to have a pillow and, but it wasn't as bad.
Right.
So, it wasn't that bad. So yeah, that was my decision, and I'm not regretting it. I love not having a cycle. I love it. I love it. I love it. I really love that part. You guys, just so everyone know, I did keep my ovaries.
Right.
So I didn't go into straight menopause. I'm not, I don't think I'm experiencing menopause symptoms right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't, it's not bad right now because I'm not going through menopause. I'm not having that many bad effects or anything. I'm just, just living and just, doing, what I need to do to kind of make sure that I pay attention to those, I guess, symptoms, as in, am I going through or hitting menopause? So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And thanks for that distinction, Kalila, because I think some people, when they hear hysterectomy, they think, oh, everything's taken out. So hysterectomy is referring to removal of the uterus and cervix typically. Some people choose to keep their cervix, but for the most part, hysterectomy is removal of the cervix and uterus, and the ovaries are left behind, especially in women, if they are, still in, early age, 30, late 30s, early 40s, even up to 50, 50-ish, they recommend maintaining your ovaries. And I think, I don't know, Khalil, I know SeaQuett, and she'll share her story in a minute. But did they take your fallopian tubes, Khalil? I think
yes, I think they did.
You told me that. Yeah. So, because that's probably the newest recommendation over the last few years, because there's been evidence to show if the fallopian tubes can be a source of ovarian cancer later on in life. So they'll now recommend if you need a hysterectomy and then moving forward with the hysterectomy, it's recommended that you have your tubes removed also with the uterus, but you can still maintain your ovaries if you are, a candidate for that. So just to be aware of that. So, all right, SeaQuett, share your little, you're the most recent hysterectomy recovery.
Mine is most recent as of February of this year.
Yes.
So my experience, I would say, has been a little rocky. So I was first diagnosed, I was in college. I was a sophomore, I think, in college, and started having pelvic pain. They said, oh, you have fibroids. And I was like, oh, well, what is that? Oh, they're just little non-cancerous little tumors on your uterus. It's fine. If you decide to have kids down the line, they may poke out your stomach, but that's it. And I'm like, ew, okay, whatever. So with that being said, I had kids. They gave me issues during all of my pregnancies, preterm labor. I think when I had my last child, what was I, 30? They started increasing in the difficulties that I was having with pain and heavy menstrual cycles and things like that. But they weren't that big. They were like the size of maybe like a golf ball, but started to give me issues. So I tried an IUD to help with the bleeding, didn't help so much with the pain. So I just kind of dealt with the pain and just, I was like, okay, well, my bleeding's good. I'm good. But the pain just got worse and worse. So I said, okay, let's try a myomectomy. So I had a myomectomy in 2013, I think. And they removed 3. And 2 of them was about a golf ball size. And the other one was small, like maybe like a little, I don't know, like a globe grape. I don't know. Wasn't that big. So I'm like, okay, boom, good. I was good for a couple of years, actually quite a bit. Last year, maybe what is this, 2023, 2021, I started to have the pain again. And the same side that I had it when I initially had the fibroids. And I just thought to myself, okay, something is going on. So I had an ultrasound. They said, oh, they grew back, but they're small and there's 4 of them. So I'm like, oh crap, I have 1 extra that I didn't have before. So now I got another one. So I'm like, okay, so that's 4, grew back. The next year, I started to have this increased intensity of pain. My cycles started to get heavy again, but I didn't know I have thyroid issues too. So I didn't know if it was, my thyroid kind of making my body offline with my hormones. So, I just kind of played it out. I'm like, oh, let's see, they adjusted my thyroid medication. It kind of helped with my cycles, but not really. But the pain just kept getting worse and worse to the point where now it's like back pressure. And again, I have back issues too, but I started to have a lot more pressure in my lower back to the point where sitting and walking it was difficult. So I talked to the doctor, they gave me remedies and say, oh, we can try you on birth control. We can try you on this medication. It'll help with your cycles. It might shrink the fibroids. And I'm like, you know what? I'm 45, almost 46. I didn't have 4 kids. I don't need it anymore. Maybe I could just take it out. So they tried to, they gave me the option and told me about surgery. They also, again, tried to push, the non-surgical, or you can get another myomectomy. That was the first surgical one. Or you can just get where they can immobilize them and shrink them and take the blood flow. And I'm like, okay, well, is that going to help with my pain? Because trying to function with pain, it's very difficult in daily life. And they said, oh, well, we can't guarantee it might. But no, we're not going to do that. So we just going to take them out. Just take my whole uterus. I don't need it anymore. I just want some type of pain relief where I don't have to deal with it anymore. So I had my hysterectomy in February, like I said, this year, 2023. My initial recovery, I have a low-lying like bikini cut. And I had the same with my initial myomectomy, and the pain of that. And you don't realize you use so much muscles in that area until you've had surgery. And trying to function and walk up the steps and sit down and stand up. It was rough. My scar this time around, I don't know if because they went into the same scar, but the healing of that was a little bit longer. It's still kind of sensitive. What is we in April? But I would say it was the best decision. Because the other pain is gone and I can function with what I'm dealing with right now because I still have time to heal. It's fresh, it's just 2 months ago. But I think my big thing was the pain and trying to function with being in so much, discomfort. It's hard. And you sit and you try to play both things. And I knew about the, if I kept my ovaries, I didn't have to worry about the menopausal symptoms because I still had my ovary. They still feed me a little estrogen. It's less because I'm 46, but it's still giving me a little bit where I can still, function with that. Mm-hmm. But I just felt like at this point, like I said, I'm 46. I don't need it anymore. It needed to come out. So I think it was the best decision for me at this point. Right. For the pain reason, to just relief from that. So
right. Yeah, it's a big decision, and I remember discussing it with women, like it has to be the best decision for you. Mm-hmm. Like I can tell you all the options, and and Kalila mentioned when she first was diagnosed with fibroids, they just kind of blew it off, which unfortunately a lot of women go through it. They feel dismissed, especially Black women. It's like, oh, that's what you get, and that's just how it is. So I think it's also important for women to be educated so they can actually advocate for themselves, to be like, okay, so this is what I have. What can I do to, like Kalila said, can I shrink them? What can I do so they won't become a problem or a bigger problem later on? So I think it's very important for us, especially as Black women, to be able to, talk about these things amongst each other, as well as getting the education and information that we need as we are experiencing these conditions so that we can make the best decision for ourselves. Especially as women are aging and go through menopause, the question is, I have these fibroids. Should I get a hysterectomy or should I not? And it really kind of depends on, how big the fibroids are. Are they causing you symptoms? So it really kind of depends on have that conversation with your doctor to see if a hysterectomy is the best option for you. Because typically fibroids usually shrink when you hit menopause. However, if they're already big, it's like, okay, what they shrinking to? They ain't really shrinking to a whole lot as you enter menopause. So again, it's really a conversation that's important for you to have and be able to advocate for yourself. Like, okay, I understand this is what it is, but what can I do to improve my situation so I won't be in pain, so I won't be uncomfortable or, have an issue later on. So I think it's very important. And Kalila also mentioned, having to make that decision when not having children. And I think, that's also a big decision for women, especially as women are entering perimenopause. It's like, their bodies are entering menopause and they're like, oh my gosh, like I don't have any children yet. Like what can I do? Or what is the decision that I have to make at this point in regards to, if they have things that come up with like fibroids and things like that may be facing that hysterectomy, like, should I get it? I don't have any kids, so, and I remember the group chat the other day, I was talking about middle school drama with the children and we was going back and forth. And I remember Kalila was like, maybe maybe being childless is not so bad. because y'all was trying to like, yeah, la la la, there's all this craziness with these children, like these dang children. So I think, when women are either, getting close to menopause or facing hysterectomy, that decision is affected if they don't have any kids and if they want, they have to question themselves, do they really want kids and stuff like that. So Kalila, can you just share a little bit in that regards to, because I remember you, I from the start, I don't think you really wanted kids, but I think you were still like, well, maybe do I? I don't know. But I know you're not the only one who, only woman out there who's had those thoughts. So can you just share a little bit about that?
Well, let me just say, and we're all from the, let me just say, when I was younger, I thought I didn't want to have kids unless I was married. And I saw marriage was just a piece of paper by what I saw growing up. It's like, oh, is that what men do when they marry? Why do I want to get married? It's just a piece of paper. It's just we just married and they just still gonna do what they want to do.
Whoa, this is gonna be this is another podcast episode.
I know, right? So that was my initial thought. I didn't want to have kids unless I was married. I didn't want to be married because of what I saw. I was like, right, it's paper, so I don't want it. But then as I got older, I said, okay. And I'm talking about older, maybe in my 30s, maybe in my 30s. I was like, maybe I do want to get married and have kids because maybe I do want a child. But just relationships didn't work out. And again, it was like, I still just don't want to, maybe I want to have a child, but I still don't want to have a child unless I'm married.
Right.
I don't want to be that person, child support. I don't want to be that person where you're going to your daddy's house this weekend and all. I just didn't want to deal with that. I wanted to have a family in a 2-parent household with a family. And I guess what kind of family I'm not the Brady Bunch. That's not what I'm looking for. But I don't know. I don't know what family. The Cosby's. One family with 2 households. We do stuff. We're living as a family and not separate. So, and when I had my hysterectomy, it was just like, okay, that's really telling me I'm not ever going to have kids. Mm-hmm. So, And I didn't say this before, but it was the same thing with SeaQuett. It was like the heavy bleed. I mean, I was like bleeding heavily, to where it was just like I was changing a bad like every hour. That it just got that bad. And then plus, like I said, they grew so big, like it was messing with my health. So it was like, okay, even if I didn't get this hysterectomy, I don't think my uterus will allow me to bear a child. So it was like, okay, I had the surgery, the myomectomy to remove the fibroids. So it was like, it wasn't like, so I did that in 2010, 2019, I guess 9 years later, I had the hysterectomy. But in between that time, it wasn't like I was really trying to get pregnant. So it was like, it's just,
right.
It might have happened a few times if my body will allow. And I just said it to say I was in a relationship to where, I wasn't on birth control anymore.
Right.
So it's like, it could have happened if it, if it was going to happen. You know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then when I decided to have the hysterectomy, it was just like, okay, well, I'm 41. I don't think it'll happen, like I said, because I don't think my uterus will allow it. I don't think, I just think that it's just not going to happen. So I just might as well do it. But that was 41. It's funny because when I was younger too, I never thought that I would hit a midlife crisis. So it was like, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to just feel like my life is. Now that like I said, I just turned 45 2 days ago. And like the last few years, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have kids. I'm not married. Who's going to take care of me? What am I doing? I have no one. So, and I feel like that sometimes. It's like, I feel like, okay. I like, especially when COVID hit, it was like, I really have to sit here in this house I was somewhere else at the time, but it was like, I'm here by myself. Like I don't have nobody to like bother me and keep me company. I see people complaining. My kids drive me crazy. I got to in school. I don't have that problem. But, I mean, I just like, it was like a back and forth with it. I'm good. I don't have that problem. At the same time, it was like, well, sometimes I wish I had that problem.
Right.
So, like I said, I knew my uterus wasn't allowed to bear a child. But now that I'm 45, and even before I even turned 45, it's like it's hitting me that, wow, I will never have a child. Mm-hmm. And at this rate, it's like I will never get married. So,
hey, girl, don't knock it. No, it's all right. 45. I see people get married at 50. Girl,
you're still young. You got plenty of time, honey.
Like an older lady at work, like, oh, she motivation. She's engaged. Oh my goodness, it's hard for me. But at the same time, I'm still feeling like I don't have kids. I don't have anyone to leave anything to. I don't have, it's like who's gonna take care of me? I joked with y'all one time, like, one of y'all sons gonna take care of like, help me? Like, I gotta get close to one of y'all kids. See what I'm over with. I'm like, oh, so I guess,
yeah,
it's a struggle at times. Let me just say this: a struggle at times, not having kids and knowing that I will never have kids.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of women have that, feel conflicted in regards to, should I, do I want to, like, that back and forth. And like you said, as we get older, we have different perspectives on life. And I think, as we're going through different things, and thinking about, starting families, we, like I said, we're conditioned based on what we've seen growing up. We have different thoughts of what we think marriage or what we think a family or having children looks like. And, at this point for me, I feel like even though we've seen these things as we're growing up, we're allowed to change that, right? Like we can create a new perspective, a new vision that, things that our parents or even generations before didn't really thought about it, didn't think that was something to do. But I think, as we are here now, we have the ability to change that narrative, right? Like it doesn't have to be, obviously I'm married, but it's like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I have to have the husband, I have to have this, I have to have that to have a child. It's like we have all these thoughts, and we have all these things that, even society tell us that what it should like as far as a marriage, what it should look like as far as motherhood and all those things. But who are they to say? Like, we can create whatever the hell we want. We can create it the way we feel that's best for us. And I think we have to be more intentional about, how we, as we're living our lives, as we're living, through this journey called life, just creating just a new perspective and a new narrative for ourselves. So for generations of, that come after us to see, like, I know this is how they, what they said, what it should like back in the day, but it don't gotta look like that. Like, we can do it a different way. And as long as we're making sure that we find the joy in life, we, make ourselves happy. And I think that makes a big difference. But yeah, girl, you're not alone, first of all. Okay. Like, you got all of us, and my children got you. They're all up in your business. How's Auntie Kalila's boyfriend? What's his name? They know his name before I did. I'm like, who is that? They're like, oh, her boyfriend. I'm like, oh, okay. So they'll take care of you, girl. Don't you worry.
I appreciate that.
Oh, man.
But let's talk a little bit about, like I said, we talked about, that whole decision as far as having kids. Let's talk about the decision of actually having children and being a mom. I'm going to talk to you little your youngins over here, Crystal and Ashley. Can you just share, it's being a mom, there's a narrative around that too. Like, there's always, I know for me, there's this pressure of being the super mom, right? Like, oh, you got to do all the things. So can you just share, you both have children, and I think just the stress of being a Black mom, and you both have sons. So can you just share your thoughts in regards to, being a mom, managing a career, and or building a business? Like, what does that look like for you? Or how does that feel for you as you're kind of going through things?
Well, I'll go first because I was a mom before her. I definitely feel like a super woman. I feel like I'm doing so much, and it's definitely hard. Oh my God. It's like trying to provide and do stuff for them to set them up and put them in the right position. They don't understand because they want me to do what they want, what they're trying to do at that time. Like, I have a 16-year-old and he doesn't understand. I can't be his Uber driver every other day.
Yes.
I'm trying to manage a business. I'm trying to get into another field, and he doesn't get that. And I'm just like, what is it going to take for you to understand? I can't run you around all the time. I'm trying to manage a business. So it's like trying to get them to understand certain stuff. They don't see it yet. Hopefully they see it soon, especially the 16-year-old. Also, having Black sons in today's world is definitely scary. Mm-hmm. My son was out last night. It was 9:30 and I'm texting him. I'm like, why is he not responding to my text? I see his location and I'm like, okay, he's still at a park. It's 9:30. It's dark outside. I'm sure there's no light. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give him 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, if he don't respond, I'm gonna go to the park, because just answer your phone and let me know. I'm trying to keep myself calm and not go into a panic attack, or I try not to think negative. But it's so hard because I'm like, why are you not responding? I'm calling him, he's not responding. So trying to be a mom, trying to manage a business, going to work full time. Whew, yeah.
Take a deep breath. I know. Yeah.
I have to take several deep breaths because I'm just like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into?
Can we get the children back?
Man, it's definitely fun at times, but other
Right.
times it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot. So that's all I can say. It's a whole lot.
Right.
Yes, I agree. It is a whole lot. I have a 16-year-old. But that's my broke best friend though. He is really a character, probably because his mom is one. But it's definitely hard. I feel like my recent move away from my mama, the queen of the queen. Shout out to mommy.
Shout out to mommy. Yes.
Mama,
yes,
yes.
exactly.
Like, she was definitely like great. Having that support system is like the best. And she was like, she still is the best, but we just live a whole hour away from each other. So it definitely is. It's definitely gotten harder since I moved. But I do have a great support system now, though. So I feel like having a support system is very important. Having somebody to help you out when, like, listen, I just need to take a breather. Having somebody there, like, come on, kid, let's go this way real quick. It's great. So, I just try my best every day. I mean, he tells me I'm a great mom. So that's what I'm the best mom ever. If he thinks that I'm a great mom, honestly, everybody else's opinion doesn't matter.
Hey,
if he thinks I'm doing right and everything, he's
right.
happy. That's my main goal. If my
No,
child
that's
is happy,
right.
so I'm happy.
Exactly.
It's, like Crystal said, it can be a lot, but just having that support and just being able to hit y'all up like, this teacher, hold on. So it's hard, but it's manageable.
Right. Yeah.
And as far as my career goes, like, there is times where, like, one time someone said, like, oh, I didn't put you on that because, I know you're a mom. And I was like, what? I took offense to it because I'm like, nobody told you to do that. Like, nobody told you I couldn't handle that. So next time, put me on it, because I never said I couldn't do it. I do have some help,
Right.
So it can be hard. And some people, they don't get it. They think, because it was a man who said it.
Mm-hmm.
So, they think like, well, not think, because they know moms mostly, they handle mostly everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It is nice to have a great partner that could step in when you need to step away. But a lot of times, when a kid gets sick, who they calling? They calling the mama.
Mm-hmm.
The kid, they need some help. He calling the mama. So I guess that's where he was going at. But it's kind of like, it's offensive because it's like, yeah, but you still could have asked me first,
Right.
So as far as like with my career, I definitely have to advocate for myself and say, well, no, I'm able to do it. I can, I can do it, and let them know, like, don't put me in that bubble of, oh, she's a mom, so I'm not gonna give her this project. It's
Right.
Like, no, you can give me the project, or you can at least ask me if I'm available to do the project before
Right.
you just hand it off to somebody who isn't a mother.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. SeaQuett, you want to add? You were the first mother of all of us,
Man.
So SeaQuett has actually let out the blueprint of managing children and now teenagers, and we're like, SeaQuett, so what did you do when they turned 10? Or what did you do when they turned 12?
Man, I tell you, Joelle, with you being the big sister, you have that pressure of being the big sister and doing things first and showing us what that looked like. For me, I was the first to have kids. Do you know, I realized all 4 of my kids are the oldest of all the grandkids and all the nieces and nephews that we have. Mm-hmm. All 4 of my kids, well, not all 4, my first 3, I should say. And then my daughter, my baby girl, is the oldest of the girls of of the next generation.
Right.
And that pressure, let me tell you, it is a lot to have the oldest of the bunch. And I'm like, looking at me, I'm like, okay, Joelle got the big sister thing. She got it flowing. I'm the first one to have kids. And that's a lot of pressure on me, because I'm like, my kids have got to be great. I can't have them doing this craziness. I can't, like, even to this day, it's still a lot of pressure because again, I started with the parenthood, but it's like they're older now. So what are your kids doing now that they're older? I have a 24-year-old is my oldest, and my baby girl will be 16 in a couple months. So the in between, the younger to the teenage to my adult child, it's still like, okay, what are my kids doing? And how can I be sure that they're on top and they're flowing and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing? Because I feel like everybody's looking at me and looking at my kids like, okay, what her kids doing? She the first one. Oh, she ain't did this. So it's a lot of pressure. So I just told myself, as long as my kids know the benefits of what I do for them, and that they take that and hopefully go on and do better things than me, is my goal and what I try to do.
Right.
I've had one come out of college. I got one in 2 years who'll be out. He's flowing through. And as him being the first boy, the first grandson, the first nephew, I'm like, oh my God, okay, I got to make sure. I got to keep them out the streets. I got to make sure they're doing this. I got to make sure he's doing that. And my son he's flowing. And I got my next one getting ready to come out of high school. And I'm telling you, and you have the different personalities in your children that you're working with. Mm-hmm. And, you got one that's laid back and one that's like, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this. I'm doing that. So it's just trying to manage them all and keeping them all on the right path. It's hard because, they have their opinions. Like Crystal said, they think you're supposed to be there to do X, Y, and Z all the time. Oh, mommy, I need to go this place. Okay, there's the bus. I'm going to tell you how to read the bus schedule. You want to pay for a lift? You pay for it. You got a job. Like just those kind of things and helping them understand. I have my own things that I'm still doing. I'm not just a mom and I'm sitting here not doing anything. Right. I'm still moving. I'm still growing. I need you to grow. Y'all grew with me then, so y'all need to continue to grow on your own with me as your backup. But I'm not there for. I'm not to be your every single thing. You're gonna have to figure it out. I'm gonna state my oldest. I know she can probably hear me. With trying to manage her own health and getting her to say, "Mommy, can you make my doctor's appointment?" No, you can do it. You have your voice. You need to speak up and tell the doctor what you need and schedule your appointment. But why can't you? You are girl. You are an adult. You have to. It was hard for me sometimes to let go and just say, okay, cut the cord. You can do it because I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Then I've said, you know what, SeaQuett? You're disabling them. You need to make them do it themselves. And that was hard for me to let go because you want to nurture your kids. You want to keep them close. You want to, like Crystal said, her son, out at the park. My youngest son, he likes to be out with his friends and hang out. And, you just sit back and you pray, okay, wherever they are, you want to hope that they're nowhere where they can be profiled, where someone will try to, say that they're doing something. Somebody would lie on them or something. It's hard with Black males, but it's also difficult with Black daughters as well. So it doesn't matter. It just makes it more intense when they're boys because, they're the main ones to be, racially profiled when they're could be just walking down the street or sitting at the park. Right. But it's just trying to, trying to keep them on the right path, helping them understand what's important, what to stay away from, and still being there for them, but kind of letting back a little bit so they can learn to do for themselves and grow themselves and be better. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me just say all of you are doing an amazing job. As well as you, Auntie Kalila, as the auntie, okay? Because we be calling Kalila like, can you babysit?
Yes. Oh, Kalila, I'm getting ready to go out of town.
Yes. You got him. Yes.
All of you are doing an amazing job, okay?
As well as you, big sister. Yes.
Oh, thank you. But you all are right. Like, I'm sure a lot of women can relate. Like, a lot of moms and women can relate to, that superwoman complex. Like we have to do all the things, right? Like we feel this pressure to do and be everything to everybody else. So for me, it's definitely been intentional about, prioritizing me so I can do the things that I want to do, as well as take care of my, my household. And like Ashley said, being able to advocate for yourself and, in different spaces is also very important. As you are navigating through just different transitions in your life, as well as, raising your children. And like I said, the stresses of raising Black children in general is just, the stress alone is like, Lord, what's next? What is this? What is it going to be today? Right. So I just think it's important for us as women, as moms, to be able to, pour into ourselves, prioritize ourselves so that we can have the energy and the stamina, to pour into our children and to raise our families and do the things that we want to do. And they can also be, grow up to be, awesome people themselves and take care of us, right? When we get older. So I think it's just, like I said, just important for us to be able to let down some of that pressure of, being everything to everybody, being able to talk to each other about what's going on, letting all of that out so we build up that stress. And, just be more intentional about managing our stress as we're, managing our careers, building a business, raising our children, all the things that we're doing, being able to do that because we can be, be more intentional about taking care of ourselves, as far as our health, because they are watching us. Y'all know they're watching us. So being able to be intentional about taking care of our health, as well as to build wealth, right? So that they can learn how to do those things as they get older, to, for their children and, future generations. So y'all, I think we are over our time. This has been an amazing conversation. I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, I'm about to cry. So,
let me say something. Let me say.
You're going to make me cry. Maybe you shouldn't say it.
Well, it might, but I'm going to say it anyway. So I think this was great. This was amazing. And I think all of your thoughts and your ideas that you have, I think you hold back sometimes because you're unsure. But as this stands here, you see this and how we can come together. And with all of us, we have so many great traits and so many great things that each of us are doing. It's kind of hard because we're in different places. Like I'm in Glen Burnie, you're in Bowie, Kalila's in Bowie, Crystal's in Brandywine, Ashley's in Virginia, Michelle's in Virginia. It's difficult in a sense of physically coming together, but technology has really great ways of bringing us together so that we can come together and build something even stronger together with all of what we have. And you're the start of that, Joelle. And with you starting, I think you have really inspired the rest of us to really look at what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how we can be great and be better and also all come together. So I think, like I said, this is amazing. And your ideas are always like, you have so many things you have going on. I talk to her the most, y'all, and she has so many great things in her head that she thinks about. And, we kind of bounce off each other, but she holds it back. And I hope this will allow her to see that just try it out. Just try it out and see, what it brings. And I think this right here will bring great things to you, Joelle, and to all of us together. So just keep doing what you're doing, girl.
And I want to kind of echo that and say congratulations for even starting your podcast and on your 100th episode. Like, that's big. Yes. And I've listened to your podcast on my nature walks. I really do. Yes, I do. And it's just like, oh. And it was like, what advice you gave me? I was like, well, you gave not me personally, but it was I'm not doing that. So I think you are helping so many people that you don't even know about. And just to even be on your 100th episode is so wonderful and just great and a big accomplishment. And we're going to do this on your 1000th episode.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're going to do this again on your 1000th episode. And yes. And we may be sitting on some stage then.
Hey, all right, girl. I like that. I like put that in the universe, okay?
Yes.
Y'all know I'm trying to be on the stage now. Like,
congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Y'all know I appreciate y'all. Like SeaQuett said, and that, people who are listening, she said, I sometimes hold back. And I'm human. Like I said this on my podcast, like I'm human, y'all. There are times where I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I should do that, or I'm unsure. Like I'm not. And I think, when I came out on this platform in the beginning, I wanted to portray like, oh, everything's great and I'm so amazing and I'm doing this and I'm that. And I'm learning like, girl, you don't got to be amazing all the damn time. Like there are times where I'm like, I'm struggling. I'm struggling, or I don't know, or I'm unsure, or I'm, I have anxiety and things like that. So thank you, SeaQuett, for, saying that, sometimes I hold back, and I do. And that's always something that I continue to work on. That's why I hired a coach when I started my business, all the things I invest in personal development so I can be better at really, putting my 100% into my business, into myself, and then into my business so I can help other women do the same thing. Because like y'all said before, being around people who are doing amazing things just inspires you to do amazing things yourself. And, being able to have that support of each other and watching each other. And you can, like y'all said, you see what's possible. It's all doable. It's all manageable. It's all something that we all can do. And being able to have each other, have our backs, and being able to, bounce things off of each other and, listen to this and do that. It's just been an amazing experience. I can't believe it's been 100 episodes. To be honest, it's like, I can't believe I've been doing this for, I did this 100 times. Like, this is crazy. Because I have to tell people, like, before I started the podcast, like, I did not want to talk on live video. Like, I was scared to death. Okay. Like, I would look at the push, the live button. I would look at that button for at least 5 minutes before I pushed it. Because I was so scared. I'm like, what am I going to say? They gonna think I'm stupid. Like, they going to be like, what's she talking about? Like, all those thoughts that go in our head then when we do new things and branch out of our comfort zone. But it's all something that we have to do to be our best selves, especially as we're getting older, especially as we're going through different transitions in our lives. It's so important to stretch out and be, do things that, we've never done before, because that's what God designed us to be. Like, we have to do the things that God truly designed us to be. And that requires us stepping out of our comfort zone. So, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you for having our back. And I also wanted to create this platform and this opportunity for you all to share anything that, that you all are doing, because you all also are doing some amazing things. And I definitely want to big y'all up too. So I know Crystal got a little something that she wanted to share, that she's doing with the people.
As Joyelle mentioned in my bio, I have been growing so much as far as, like she said, in personal development, trying to increase my identity, because once you increase your identity, your income starts to increase as well. So I've been actually reading a lot more books, just talking to people, because I do not like talking to people, but I'm learning that it's not about me. It's about what I could do for that person and just talking to them, or how I could help them, and just going up and saying, hey, you look nice today, or just starting a conversation with someone. So I've been trying to add value to people's lives, just trying to help them learn how to retire and learn how to protect their money, learn how to protect their lives, learn how to build wealth for themselves and their family. So yeah, like I've just been trying to add value in any way that I can to anyone that I come across.
Then where can they find you on Instagram?
My Instagram is CK_summer, the number 9. And the summer spelled out SUMMER.
Okay. And that those of you who are listening to the podcast, I will put that also in the show notes for those who are interested in connecting with Miss Crystal so she can help you get out of debt and build wealth. Okay? Because we all want to do that, right?
Definitely.
All right, y'all. So that is the end of this episode. Like I said, I love all of you. Like truly, 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 I can't express how much I love y'all. So I just can't. I don't have enough words to say. We'll probably be on here for another hour if I express how much I love and appreciate your support, your encouragement, like all the things, your inspiration. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So those of you who are listening to the podcast, those of you who are watching the podcast on YouTube, thank you for coming into our world, into our sister chat. This is basically our sister chat on live video. Okay. This is how I be going. This is how I be flowing sometimes. Yep. So I thank all of you who are listening, who are watching. Thank you. I love that you all came in to share some of our world. And I hope that inspires all of you to, just be your best selves, find your people, and to support you and, do all the things that you, like I said, that God has designed you to be. So, I'm here at Menopause Moguls podcast to share all the tea in regards to midlife, menopause, building a business, all those things. So tune in for the next episode on audio as well as video. We're going to do some new things, a spinoff of Menopause Moguls on video on the YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. But this was the start of it. And I appreciate all of you listeners who have been listening to me from the beginning. All you new listeners, hey girl, hey. And as always, sending you all love and light. And until next time,